I've just had a haircut. Everyone's going to be screaming, yeah, but Nick, what does that mean for me? What it means is I'm going to make more amazing Etsy content. Let's go. Right then, Etsy print on demand, the brutal truth. Etsy and print on demand is almost a joke to me now, because it's so bloody difficult to make it work. I have clients coming to me every week. Some of them are saying literally, do me an A to Z POD business. So they're willing to give me thousands of dollars to set them up a print on demand business. And I say to them that you're going to need to take part in this business. You're going to need to be a part of it. Even if you don't want to do any of the work, there's going to come a time when you're going to need to be involved in the business. So even if I set up a print on demand business for someone, and that's not an easy thing to do. I do it for clients. I've done it many times, but the level of work required, it costs loads of money to do it. Certainly if I'm going to do it for the client, it's going to cost a lot of money. And everyone sees it as an easy ticket. So let me just give you the background to why the brutal reality, the brutal truth of POD on Etsy is so harsh. In May 2020, Etsy had 49 million buyers or customers. In May 2021, that number jumped to 92 million. So in 12 months, they grew almost pretty much doubled their customer base. Great. Problem was, in May 2020, Etsy had 4.3 million sellers, and in May 2021, they had 7.3. So it was a 62% increase, something like that. And I can tell you straight, I dealt with hundreds of clients last year, and well over half of them were print on demand Etsy sellers who came in as a COVID store. I call them COVID stores because Etsy exploded in COVID, and they didn't know what they were doing. None of them knew what they were doing. So everyone, I would say over 1 million stores were set up easily, just print on demand. And they were all using Printful and Printify, and they were all doing the same technique. Literally, go and watch YouTube videos. I can get designs from Creative Fabrica, from design bundles, and slap them on mugs and t-shirts. I can put them in Etsy. This is so easy. And that was May, June 2020. Come September 2020 and onwards, I started to get the fallout. So all of a sudden, people were coming to me day after day saying, it's not working, I'm not selling anything. And I was saying, of course you're not selling anything. You've put 10 products in Printful, you've bounced them over to Etsy with the crappy Printful photos with the white background. The designs have been done 1 million times before. There's absolutely nothing new here. You're not offering anything that hasn't been done literally 1 million times before already by other people selling on Etsy. And they were saying, but I've watched loads of YouTube videos and they all say that print on demand is the future. It's a way to make great side income or full-time income on Etsy. And the truth is, it's nothing like that. It's really difficult. I want to use the words almost impossible. It's that difficult to succeed with print on demand on Etsy. I cannot stress how hard this is. And it needs someone with real experience and real depth of knowledge to make it work. Or you need to be really lucky and have a niche and have an area of selling on Etsy that no one else is doing, in which case you will sell. So this is the state of play. It is super difficult to make print on demand on Etsy work. Let's go deeper. So now that we know just how difficult succeeding with print on demand is on Etsy, we have to have a plan. We have to have something to offer the Etsy customers that everybody else is not doing. And when I talk to clients about what you can offer, what can you do, you've got to start by understanding that the Etsy world doesn't need another funny joke mug. It doesn't need another funny man's t-shirt with logos and graphics that you've bought from Creative Fabric or Design Bundles. You're never going to succeed doing that. It's done to death. So if you want to succeed on print on demand on Etsy, the very first thing you've got to totally get and understand is, I need to be different. I need to be different. I need to offer something that's not being done by everyone else. And I'm not just going to leave you high and dry and not explain what I mean. Let me just tell you exactly what I mean. So, okay, you're not going to do funny men's t-shirts or silly joke mugs. Good, that's really good, because everyone else is doing them and they won't sell. So an example of what you could do is professions. And this is something that I talk about a lot. You'll have heard me talk about it, those that follow me. Professions. So rather than just being general with your store, print on demand store, focus in on a solid evergreen niche. Professions, romance and relationships, work. These things are what people really care about, and they're evergreen. So just as a couple of examples. And then when you think about professions, you could target teaching. Teaching's a great niche to target. It's purchased heavily on Etsy. There's so many ideas to come up with. There's teaching professors, teachers, teaching assistants, and you've got the pupils, the class. There's so many ways you can come up with new product ideas and really speak to the teaching niche. So do you see what I'm getting at here? When you're doing print on demand, you've got to talk to someone. You've got to go into a niche. So find something that works. Check Etsy, look and see, is this niche making money? Teaching, I know it makes money. Have a look, there's tons of teaching products for teachers. Check if it works. And then say to yourself, well, here's all the products that are out here now. I'm going to target this area. So I'll do teaching, and I'm going to raise the level. I'm going to raise the game. So I'm not just going to use white background photos that have been bounced over from Printful. No, I'm going to take time to get my photographs and videos from a third-party site that allows you to have models and video models. You can do all this stuff now. But so many POD, print on demand sellers, don't know this. They're still pumping out plain old Printful stuff. And remember, don't get sucked into the trap of thinking, well, they're doing it. They're making thousands of sales. Check the dates of their store. Check when they started. Most of them started just before or just during the first bit of COVID. And it was easy then. Etsy was flooded with customers. Everyone was on furlough getting free money. Yeah, let's go and spend the money. And then in that year, you could build a store, a print on demand store, on a bare bones, horrible Printful pictures and crappy logos and joke quotes and stuff. Then everyone wanted to spend money, feel better about themselves. You could get away with it. That door is slammed shut. It's gone. You see, it's gone. So you can't compare what you're doing now versus that very, very lucky time to have been selling back in 2020 and 2021. So you've got to pick a niche and then target inside that niche. Learn about it, research it. Find out what teachers talk about, what they laugh about, what they joke about, what their struggles are day to day, week to week with the kids that they teach, and how the teachers relate to each other in the workplace. Do you see what I'm getting at? Print on demand is brutal because there's so many people not doing what I'm telling you to do today, which means you've got to cut through the noise of a couple of million print on demand stores, I would say. It's a huge number of POD stores that are on Etsy. So you've got to cut through that noise. And this is how you do it. And then when you've targeted, so you're going to say, right, I keep saying the teaching niche, and I'm going to go better. I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to think more. I'm going to connect more to the teaching audience. That's how you sell. Connect to the audience you're selling to. Don't just do generic quotes and things that everyone else does. Really learn about it. Go that step further. That is the work you have to do that replaces the fact that you don't have printing presses and t-shirts piled up in a warehouse somewhere. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's the work that's shifted from labour and machines to know you've got to think now. It's your brain, it's your time that's going to create the money. That's what print on demand is about. And that is what pretty much all of the Etsy sellers doing POD don't understand. And that's why so many of them fail. I deal with so many dead and failing print on demand stores. So I hope that has been some decent insight for you. I hope that you've learned something about print on demand, the brutal reality. It's brutal. Get into my comments. Tell me what you thought about this video. Tell me also if you do print on demand. I want to know what you're doing, what you're selling, how it's going. Let's talk about this. I look forward to catching you in the comments. Cheers.